My name is Lindsay Lee Hobson, and I work with organisations and their emerging leaders to create the ultimate next generation of leadership. But what a lot of people don't necessarily know, and what is potentially the L&D world's best kept secret, is last year I founded the Learning and Development Forum. And that's where passionate and driven L&D professionals come together and exchange trending topics and ideas and support each other to be the best they can in their careers. And if you're a proud L&D member watching this today, make sure you comment below and give us a shout out. Today, I'm here with L&D Forum member, Dr. Alaina Szlachta, who is the founder and lead learning architect at By Design Development Solutions. Hi Alaina, and welcome.
Hello, Lindsay. I am so excited to be here with you, and I love that you put this conference together. So I'll share a little bit more background, is that you came up with this. I think it was probably in like a week or two, and you pulled these amazing people together and you've got a sponsor. Who gets a sponsor for a conference that's all about professional development and such a short notice? So just kudos to you for all that you've done, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Oh, thank you, Alaina, and we're so happy to have you part of it as well. So those who don't know who are watching this, the L&D Forum are actually popping on a conference, and Alaina is speaking in that conference as well. So this is a world's first. It's going to be in the Metaverse, and we'll get to that in a little bit more detail later. But first, Alaina, I'd love to hear a little bit about you and why you love doing what you do.
Well, let me say that my journey to where I am today has been fun, interesting, and surprising. I'm an entrepreneur and I love what I do, but it took me kind of a while to realize like this is the life where I can be the most powerful, impactful, and be of greatest service to others in specifically the L&D space. So what I do is I help people to take the intellectual property behind their subject matter expertise and framework it or blueprint it in such a way that it can really be the simplest, clearest form of information and experience that helps them to change their lives. So I build things with subject matter experts, and also, which leads to the topic for the conference, I'm really interested in learning impact. So anything that I do in my life, I want it to have an impact. And that's why I was so frustrated when I was working for corporate and working for other organizations, is I just never felt like I knew how my everyday work, how the stresses and the joys, how it all like helped the bottom line of the business. So being an entrepreneur, every single thing I do every day, I know how it's affecting the business, and it makes me feel so good to wake up and do that every day. But it all comes down to impact. And that's what our topic for the conference is all about.
Absolutely, and that's so true. And speaking to a lot of these forum members as well, who some of them are lifetime learning and development professionals, they talk about how much they care. And it's so important to them, especially during COVID, that they were able to support their team members and support those around them as well as delivering results. But sometimes in that profession, it can be really tricky to understand what those results are and be able to report back as well. And that's one of the things, you actually did a lot of research on this recently. Isn't that correct, Alaina?
Yeah, when I started my business, I thought it would be easy. And we always know that when you think something's easy, it probably never is. I thought it would be easy to work directly with clients and be able to show the results of their learning programs, because I wasn't working in a large corporation. I was working directly with decision makers and the subject matter expert. And, our speed of execution was the fastest it could be because of the context. But I found that I was still running into the same barriers, the same, the mindset of the subject matter expert would be, oh, results don't matter, or it's too hard to measure that, or that's just not that important. Let's just put good content out there. And I kept thinking to myself, that's just not right. It's not good enough. We can do so much better. And the struggle that I had when I worked in the nonprofit world, working in the corporate world, and now working for myself, I realized that there's a larger issue at play. And so whenever I have a question, I turn to research. Being the doctor that I am in academia, I love research, I love exploring it. And so I started with a literature review and some informal conversations. And then it ultimately turned into 40 conversations with global leaders, including you, Lindsay, to really dig into the challenges around what we're doing in learning measurement in L&D, where we're getting stuck and stopped. And then the best part of those interviews was what people had to say about just freely ideating about like what it could be to do it different and how we would go about overcoming those challenges and barriers, and just listening to people's stories. Oh my gosh, It was the best 4 months of my life to be able to do the interviews, look at the data, look at it again, look at it again. And so part of what we'll be talking about, because of course I could talk about this forever, you can tell. We're going to talk about a small piece of the findings. And I'm thinking, Lindsay, you can tell me, like, come just with organic questions and actually kind of recreate the interview of like letting people share what their challenges are. And then I can share the insights from the study to help people walk away with ideas on what we could be doing differently or more powerfully or purposefully to better measure the impact of L&D.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I absolutely loved about being part of your study was the questions and the thought-provoking nature of them during the research section itself. And if you're helping L&D professionals on the ground in the moment at the conference, as well as giving your insights from that research, it's going to be an incredible session. So I couldn't recommend it more highly, especially around building impact and creating impacts. After the last 2 years that we've all had, we need a little bit of nurturing and a little bit of proof of what we've given to our incredible people we work for.
Yeah. I think of it as like, let's show our value. Just like I remember back in middle school when I was always the kid that was good at mental math, like I knew the answer, but the teacher was always like, you have to show your work. And I think that's a big part of what we're doing is being accountable in our own industry, is that we might be able to show data, but how do we know that people's changes in performance are due to the learning that we've designed for them? And how do we know that the learning is correlating with any sort of business objective or business growth or opportunity? And so this is my way of helping the industry show our work. Let's take the data and let's take some of the right metrics and pieces and like show our value so that nobody ever has to wonder when times get tough again, what it is that is so valuable in the learning world.
That is so incredibly powerful, and it's something that comes up, especially in the peripherals in the Learning and Development Forum itself. And what's your experience like being in the forum so far, Alaina?
Well, I haven't had the pleasure yet to be in a live forum, and so the conference will be my first opportunity to engage with members. But Lindsay, I was connected to you through a forum member, so I feel connected even though I haven't been connected yet. I hope that's a good enough answer.
Absolutely, and there's so many people in the forum as well which are going to be looking forward to your session now that they know about it because they're watching this video. So when you are at the conference, what are you looking forward to, especially that it's in the Metaverse? And for so many people in the Learning and Development Forum, it's their first experience in the Metaverse. So what specifically for you are you looking forward to, Alaina?
Well, it'll be my first experience in the Metaverse too. In fact, if I can tell and share with your audience the question that I asked you when we were first exploring this conference, I was like, does that mean that the Metaverse is owned by Meta, the new Facebook, former Facebook? And you were like, no, Alaina, that's not what that is, but nice idea. So yes, it's my first way of engaging with the Metaverse. And I have, now that after Lindsay explained what the Metaverse actually was, I have had an experience in another organization doing something similar, which is like really trying to pair the digital world and mimic as much of the physical world, like the best of both, but still in digital. So I'm really excited to see like how can we literally wander around and have conversations and share ideas less formally, because I think with the digital world, we almost have to be more formal, or we think we have to be more formal, but there's missed opportunities in the informal side conversations and connections that happen in the physical space. So I'm really curious to see, how we contribute to that merriment of the best of the digital and the best of the live in-person conferences or learning opportunities. So yeah, I'm excited to dig in and trial and error. We might make some mistakes, but we're going to learn a lot and have a lot of fun.
Absolutely, and that is the purpose, to explore something completely new whilst educating and supporting each other as forum members as well. So if you're not a forum member yet and you're watching this video as well, click the link around this somewhere. There'll be a link to the conference. You're still, of course, welcome to join us and venture into this new territory with us. And a massive thank you to our sponsors, Topia, who are holding this conference in the Metaverse for us. So big thank you to those guys and all our partners and contributors, including yourself, Alaina. I am so excited for your session around impact and learning solutions. It's going to be incredible. So thank you so much, and thank you everyone for watching today.